I don't enjoy a scary puppet on a bike, nor do I enjoy a scary psychotic killer with a terminal illness hellbent on social revenge. For these reasons, I'm pretty sure myself and fictional Saw character Jigsaw would not get along. Luckily, he isn't real. Or isn't he? Hello and welcome back to a spooktacular episode of Life's Biggest Questions, where we are celebrating the scariest time of year with a few themed questions for you. I'm Rebecca Felgate, and today we're asking, what if Jigsaw was real? Before we play a little game, I just want to remind you guys that we have a Patreon, so if you want to check out what supporting this channel can get you in benefits, then I'll leave a link to that in the description box down below. Okay, so back to that little game. Do you want to play a little game? No, Jigsaw, I don't, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna have to. Jigsaw refers to a serial killer who tests victims in deadly scenarios, or games, as he would call them, and if they fail, he carves jigsaw shapes into their flesh. Yum. The man behind the original murder spree was fictional character John Kramer, a civil engineer diagnosed with terminal cancer, which somehow drives him to kill people he doesn't think appreciate life. Then, after the cancer takes hold of him, copycats who consider themselves apprentices start popping up. So, what if this was all real? So actually, in a few cases of life imitating art, there have been some sickos inspired by the Saw movies who have drawn inspiration from the franchise, deciding to enact their own brutal killings. In 2013, Matt Tinling mimicked scenes from Saw 6 when he killed Richard Hamilton at a homeless hostel in London. He tried to sever Hamilton's spinal cord, as he had seen in Saw, or so the jury heard. This nasty trick has earned him 30 years in prison. In 2009, a mother from Salt Lake City turned her own child into the police as she heard him and his friends plotting to kill 2 students and a police officer in a game-like death play scenario. They had even purchased cameras to record the murders, and when questioned, they said they wanted to harm people that had harmed others. This is just 2 of dozens of examples of copycats inspired by the fiction of Jigsaw, bringing him to life through their own actions. But what if the character himself was real all along? Well, let's have a little look at the Jigsaw job description. He would require exceptional skills in subterfuge, planning, building, and evading the police. He would also need to show a willingness to travel. People would probably notice that members of society went missing around the same time as one another and start suspecting a serial killer. This means he would constantly have to change the location of his murders. He would also have to have a lot of patience and a skillful mind for planning events. Furthermore, he would have to not be afraid of getting his hands dirty. Cleaning up all of that post-murder must be a bit of a nightmare. I don't know if you've seen the Saw movies, but blimey, what an absolute mess. It's all very well murdering someone with a bear trap or reverse bear trap, constructing a pit of needles, putrid pig gut pools, building some kind of limb twister machine, but basically the end result is pretty messy. Jigsaw would need a strong stomach. Okay, but jokes aside, historically there have been men and women like Jigsaw out there. There are still serial killers out there, many of which believe they're enacting their own form of social justice. In 2006, Stephen Wright served as a modern-day Jack the Ripper as he murdered 5 women in the sleepy town of Ipswich, England. There is currently an unknown killer murdering people along the so-called Highway of Tears in Canada. There's the Long Island serial killer, the Mexican Ripper, and a killer on the loose in South Africa targeting gay men. The list of those we know about goes on, and then of course there is those that we don't know about yet. Perhaps what makes Saw such a scary and compelling, if at times a little ridiculous, franchise is because we all know that dark people like Jigsaw are out there and we don't want them to take issue with us. However, it is important to note that despite the real-life existence of people like Jigsaw, for every sick, twisted individual, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of good people who act within the law to bring these kinds of people to justice. In other words, any real-life Jigsaw's days are numbered.
Do you want to play a game?
Spooky, spooky, Halloween, don't worry, Jigsaw isn't real, but other bad people are. But what can you do other than just be safe and aware and good? Thanks, that's my Halloween ditty for you. Remember that when you're out trick-or-treating this year. So that is this episode of Life's Biggest Questions done with. For now, I want to remind you of our Patreon. The link is in the description box. Also, please do hit that like button if you enjoy our content and click on the notification bell to get big answers straight into your inbox. I'm Rebecca Felgate, I will catch you in the next video, but for now, stay curious, stay alert, watch out for Jigsaw peddling up to you like a weird puppety creep, and never ever stop questioning. Hungry for more answers? Why not check out our biggest what ifs playlist and our biggest history questions. Bye!